wonder if we can get your thoughts on spring practice and what you expect to see in your spring game this Saturday, please.
Excited about spring. This was kind of a rebuild to get it back from the place where it was at 0-12. I thought we took some good first steps last year. I was really looking forward to hoping to see improvement this spring, and I've liked what I've seen. We've had a good spring ball, gotten better in all phases, and stayed healthy. So that's what a coach looks for.
We'll take questions for Coach Scott Frost. Hit star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll take a question from Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well. To come off of your first season with the team and see kind of what the development was at that point, what can you say through the spring as far as where you want the culture to be and where it's gotten to at this point?
Well, the culture has gotten a lot better. I think a higher percentage of our roster is understanding what we want, what we expect, what our expectations are. We got more people buying in and a lot more enthusiasm. We had some seniors that did a great job with it last year, but it's a lot harder to teach an old dog new tricks, and for some of the older guys that had been in a different system for 3 or 4 years, sometimes those guys don't buy in quite as fast as the young guys that are learning it for the first time. So as this is evolving and people are cycling through, I see our culture continuing to improve.
When you say, it's a lot harder to teach an old dog new tricks, when you're bringing in these younger dogs, so to speak, and out on the recruiting trail, what can you say about UCF and how you've been responded to when you're out there recruiting? I know that when you came in immediately, you felt like there was a good response. What can you say about being out on the recruiting trail and kind of how high school student athletes have felt about the program and where you're taking it?
We've done great in recruiting, and that's exactly what I expected when I came to Orlando. I knew the advantages that UCF should have over other people in our league. Our recruiting class in a month and a half the first year was very highly ranked, and we were very happy with it. This past recruiting class was the highest outside of the Power 5, and we beat several Power 5 schools. So we don't put much stock in ranking, but I think as a coaching staff, we spent a lot of time listening to people talk about how recruiting in Florida was going to be tough with changes at USF and FAU and FIU, and they never mentioned us, and I think that made our coaching staff happy to turn out the type of recruiting class that we did. We have the best city in Florida to sell. We have the best campus in Florida to sell and the best university in Florida to sell, and I think that differentiates us.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You bet.
And next we'll move to Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Sports Radio, Baltimore.
Hey, Coach Frost. How you doing?
Doing great.
Talk about what you'd like to see this week with the spring game. What's the positive things you're looking for?
All I really want to see in the spring game is competition, enthusiasm, and a healthy team at the end of it. Most of our diagnosis and most of our evaluation of our team has taken place through 14 practices. This is more or less just a showcase to show our fan base the improvements we're making and where we are as a team. We're not going to put much stock in performances or individual plays in this game. So if we just go out and execute and play with enthusiasm and get off the field healthy, I'll be happy.
And how difficult is it to recruit in the state of Florida? Because I know you have Florida State up in, Tallahassee, you got Miami down at, Miami, and sometimes Miami goes into Orlando. Same thing as Florida State. How do you keep them from not taking all the good talent there?
Well, we're 3 hours from almost every place in Florida. There's plenty of talent to go around down here. I think this is the best recruiting state in the country. A lot of kids want to stay in state, and we're going to get our share of them. I'm thrilled with the kids we've gotten in the last 2 recruiting classes. The majority of them are from right here in Florida. And like I said in the last question, Orlando's the best college town in this state. We've got the highest undergraduate enrollment of any university in the United States, an absolutely beautiful campus to sell, beautiful weather to sell. We've done well in recruiting, and I think we'll continue to because of the things we have to sell here.
Well, good luck with the spring game, and I hope to see you in December.
Thank you.
And next I'll move to Shannon Green with Orlando Sentinel.
Hey, Scott. How are you doing?
Good.
With so many new coaches coming in this year, I think there's 5, and then last year I believe there were 4 new coaches. How much does that keep you on your toes, you and your coaching staff, and you can't really get a grasp of tendencies for different programs?
Well, this is a really good football league. I think the American is strong top to bottom. I think it's very competitive top to bottom, and year in and year out, the top teams are beating just about every team they play when they get a chance to in the country. That being said, I think inevitably there's going to be a lot of movement in and out of this conference, and you're going to have to get used to a little bit of a changing landscape. I'm happy for those guys that got other jobs and moved on. We'll have to adjust to new coaches and new schemes from those teams, but we're also going to be familiar with quite a few. So the good thing about conference coaches changing is we'll have plenty of tape by the time we get around to those teams to be able to make our evaluation and game plan.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Coach, thanks so much for the time today. Look, enjoy the spring game Saturday. Best of luck for good health there, and we'll reconnect in the summer.